Is it weird to say that after all this time, I'm actually really proud of myself for finally showering and washing my hair? I mean, it may have been a good 2 weeks, honestly. I finally did it. And, God, I felt so much better after. It's amazing how simple, doing something that simple, like caring for yourself that little bit can really help. And, I was thinking a lot about how I was talking about that feeling of guilt I have for taking care of myself, and I'm really, really going to try to fight against that. One, because it's just fucking stupid. you know, I should take care of myself. I should want to take care of myself and feel good about taking care of myself. And clearly, the message in my head that I'm not deserving of care is false and unhealthy. So I really want to fight against that. I almost even put makeup on today, but honestly, I was just too tired. So at least I got the shower in and my hair washed, and so that was nice. I downloaded this, so I mentioned the Real Depression Project the other day, and they're also on Instagram. And I downloaded their little book, and it's just literally called, like, I think it's called, like, How to Treat Depression or How to Cure Depression. And I was like, huh? Like, and they made a point, and this is huge. They made a point that rarely in, your psychiatrist that's giving you meds, or your therapist that's whatever talking to you about your problems, does anyone ever tell you how to actually cure it? Like, all these years that I've had it, I remember asking one therapist once, like, okay, I've had this, like, my whole life, but, like, no one's really told me how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like, if you take an antidepressant, it doesn't cure it. It relieves the symptoms. There's nothing wrong with taking an antidepressant. That's not what I'm saying. But it's relieving symptoms of a problem. It's not curing the problem. And you can go to therapy, and you can go to therapy for years or your whole life, like I've been, and for the most part, just week to week talking about my problems, right? But nothing is curing the depression. And no one ever sat me down and said, okay, so these are the steps we have to take to cure your depression. No one ever said that to me. And this was like one of the first things they talked about, how no one really talks to the people that suffer from depression about how you're going to actually cure it. They might give you some coping skills. They might give you medication to lessen symptoms. They might give you therapy to try to help you through some things. But no one ever sits down and says, okay, here are the few steps we're going to go through to try to actually cure you of depression. So, on that Real Depression Project site, they have this little $8 downloadable book about how to cure depression. And of course, it involves many of these things. It involves self-care and all these things, but it puts it all together for you. And essentially, it's cognitive behavioral therapy, but it tells you when to use a coping skill, when to use this, when to use that, how to, do these things to literally change the way your brain functions, to literally fix your brain. And it talks about what's, physiological, what's environmental, and all these different aspects of what makes us suffer from these things to begin with. And I just started the book today, and I like how it's just super simple and laid out. It's not super long. And like I said, I really wanted to dedicate this time that I have away from work, where I have the time to focus on my mental health and really try working through it and making that the main focus of this time. Not just, sleeping and waiting for ECT. So I'm, working through that book. I also have a cognitive behavioral therapy book I mentioned before that I'm going to work through with my therapist so that, I'm doing the exercises each week and we're going through it. And I want to kind of just immerse myself in this because I've never had the time before to really immerse myself in it. I've always been so overwhelmed by my depression and my anxiety that I was just so tired all the time. The idea of coming home and doing some exercises in a book or whatever, I might do some of it and then I set it aside and I focus on something else. So I'm really taking this time to do this, and I did want to recommend that little book they have. It is linked on their site on Instagram, like I said, and even on their TikTok page. So just a suggestion, you might want to download that. And do I think I'm going to ever cure my depression? Not necessarily, but I would be thrilled to get to the point to where it's at a manageable level, at a way that it's not completely just stealing my life from me every day. And if I can, mitigate my symptoms even 50%, then that's huge. That's huge. I can't believe the things I could be doing with my time and my energy if I wasn't so consumed with this all the time, So, and I know I keep saying this about TikTok going away, but I think it's just a damn shame. I really do. I think it's sad. I think it's going to affect a lot of people emotionally because people have built communities and supports here. And aside from financially, because a lot of people do have enough followers and stuff where they're, it's part of their income, if not all their income. And it's been a great way to just learn about, a million different things or just have a good laugh, And like I said, I'm a little nervous about it going away right before I go into ECT because I feel like, especially since I'll be kind of stuck at home while doing ECT because I can't drive, I felt like that was going to be a little bit of an outlet for me that I'm now not going to have. And I'm concerned about all of you that rely on it as well. But know that you're not alone. A lot of us do. There's a lot of people out there that this app in some ways has been a bit of a lifesaver. So some asked where, I'm going from here. I have been posting to YouTube. Everything I post here, I started posting on YouTube. I know it's not nearly as interactive as TikTok is, but someone else mentioned doing Instagram, and while I have like a private Instagram page, I scroll through Instagram occasionally, but I'm really not super active on there. But in terms of videos, I will continue on YouTube, and I will be here right up until, it shuts down. The link is up in my little bio there under my picture, so if you want to follow me there, I'd be super happy for you to join me there. And I'll stop. I'm at 9 minutes. Yeah, I'm rambling again. Okay. All right. Well, I'm clean. Yay. Have a good night.